Hello there everybody, it's Krang here and welcome to another video. And I don't even know what to say. What the hell was that race? Seriously. Hey, if this is gonna be the rest of the 2020 season, I don't even care what happens to Ferrari or anything, because this was the best race since Hockenheim, or maybe even better than Hockenheim last year. This was clearly better than Brazil last year. As good as Hockenheim, or maybe even better. Like, this was insane, and I'm literally speechless. I took me a while to make this so I could record, but so I had a little of time to think about the results. But I still can't believe it. That was just insane. I just don't know what to say. That was such a good race, but let's skip all of that talk and let's get right into the standings here. So, P20 to P16. In P20 we have Max Verstappen who DNF'd on lap 14 after getting some engine issues, I think. He had a lot of issues during when he retired. I think I think there were multiple issues, but I'm pretty sure it was mainly the engine, which is very sad for him because he was running very good in P2 in the beginning. Then in P19 we had Daniel Ricciardo, who I also think retired due to engine issues. I don't remember exactly because I wasn't watching the race when he retired because I had to go and eat lunch and stuff, but he retired as well, which is sad for Renault. Then we have Lance Stroll, who retired, which made me quite mad because in my F1 play predictions I put Lance Stroll as first in his little group, but in the end none of the things I guess came true, so doesn't really matter now. Yeah, he retired as well from P9 or P8. Then P17 we have Kevin Magnussen, which was a shame for him because I think he was even in the points. Like, he had a good start. He went up to into like P11 or something, and then I think he was in the top 10 when he retired, but I'm not sure. But yeah, and he just went straight off. He had a brake issue and stuff, which later happened to his teammate Romain Grosjean as well in P16. Same corner, same issue, but Grosjean didn't retire directly after it. He went to the pits and then retired. I think Magnussen just stopped on track. Oops. Yeah, then on to P15 to P11. In P15 we have George Russell, also DNF'd from a power unit issue. There were a lot of issues for the Mercedes power unit during the race, which for me at least, who doesn't support Mercedes, that's nice to know that they have issues with their power unit, because then other teams can win as well. And it was quite a shame for Russell because he was close to the points. I think he was in P12 or something. Then we have Kimi Räikkönen also DNF'd from, and that was a very strange DNF because his front right tire just went straight off the car. It wasn't even like the Haas in Austria. I think, was it 2018? No, not Austria, Australia. In 2018 I think, or 2019, I don't remember which year the tires fell off, but it wasn't even like that. It just went, it rolled over onto the car and then finished, or then rolled just straight out of the corner right after the safety car was ending as well. So we basically had, so as soon as the safety car pulled in, that happened to Raikkonen, so we had to go out again. We had 2 safety cars, or maybe even 3 that race. Yeah, I don't remember exactly. Then we had Alex Albon in P13. Such a shame. He was just making the move on Hamilton for P2, and then Hamilton doesn't leave him enough space around the outside because Alex was ahead of him into the corner, so he had the right to go first, but then Hamilton didn't turn enough. I guess there's nothing really that Hamilton can do when they start returning the maximum. But yeah, he just went straight into Albon. It was basically a repeat of Brazil last year, except that it was Albon that made the move this time. So he DNF'd, but he got classified as a finisher, plus 4 laps. Then have Kvyat, who had some sort of rear tire issue straight after Albon's retirement. He got classified as well, or maybe it wasn't a tire issue, but his whole left rear tire, I think, just blew up and stuff. Then in P11 we had Nicholas Latifu, the first finisher of the race. Yeah, we only had 11 finishers, and he finished 31 seconds behind the winner. I almost said who the winner was, but yeah, Latifi, solid job. He was so close to the points, even though he finished last on track. He was still pretty close to P10. So Williams almost got their points. Almost. And then come out to P10 to P6. In P10 we have Sebastian Vettel, who was a little over 24 seconds off the winner. And I'm surprised he even got points, not gonna lie. Cause he made what I would call a rookie mistake, not gonna lie. He was up in like P7 or something. Went on a dive on Perez or Stroll, I think it was Perez. And he just basically did a Vettel. He spun around, went last, got damage, and somehow got past at least Latifi in the end. Then in P9, and yeah, with Vettel, that's such a disappointment for Ferrari as well. Oh no, he didn't go on. He didn't go on Paris. Vettel sent it on Sainz. He sent it on his own replacement at Ferrari. And then in P9 we got Antonio Giovinazzi, 21 seconds behind the winner. And like Alpha, it's nice that they got points, but they could have had so much more from this weekend. Their car is just horrible this year, and yeah, I'd say they have their worst car on track, almost. They got lucky in the start because George Russell dropped back, so they came into, and then they got past up into, I think Raikkonen was in P12, or maybe it was Giovinazzi. Well, there was still like 16 runners. But in the end, they managed to secure P9, so that's some points for Alpha at least. Maybe even the only ones they're gonna get this season, as it looks like right now. P8, Esteban Ocon. He had quite a quiet race. Only did one over. He barely did any overtakes at all. Well, he overtook the Alpha Tauris and stuff, but not much more. But he had a clean race though, and managed to secure P8. So that's Renault's only point so far. So I guess they should be happy about that. And he was 17.4 seconds away from the winner. So as you can see, it was a really close race. All of the finishers were separated by a little more than half a minute. In P7 we have the only finishing AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly, 16.6 seconds off the winner. Quite a solid race from him. AlphaTauri is basically the same as last year, a little faster, but they managed to hold on to that P7 quite well. And in P6 we have Sergio Perez, who was running very well for a podium, but then he got a 5-second time penalty for speeding in the pit lane sometime in the beginning of the race, and he got that penalty in like lap 65 or something, which really spiced things up at the front. He was 15 seconds away from the winner in the end. And such a shame for Perez. He could have had a podium easily. Then P5 to P2. This is where it gets interesting. In P5, Carlos Sainz, 8.9 seconds away from the winner. Quite a solid race from Sainz. He didn't really do much except fighting Norris in the final stages around lap 60 to 65 or something. Then they made contact and stuff, and so I think Sainz was was even pushed on the grass a little. She let Norris get away. Still a really solid finish from McLaren with P5 for Sainz. And it is insane to think that Sainz is already P5 in the championship. Then P4 we have Lewis Hamilton, 5.6 seconds away from the winner, with a 5-second time penalty for spinning around Albon. And if it wasn't for that penalty, this would have been a boring race. Or not a boring race, not even close to a boring race, but this spiced things up so much at the front. So if you see, like, he was 5.6 behind, so he was basically, he could have always gotten the win if it wasn't for that penalty. Or maybe he could have, I don't know. We will never know. This is where it gets interesting though. In P3 we have the one, the only, Lando freaking Norris. He got a podium. He was so close to not getting Hamilton in the end, because Hamilton was quite a bit ahead of him, but when Hamilton crossed the finish line, Norris was 5.1 seconds behind him, but then he caught up really fast in the end. I don't know what the hell he did, but he ended up being 0.2 seconds out of that, so he gained like 0.3 seconds on Hamilton in the last corner or two, which is insane. So he finished 5.5 off the winner. Then in P2, what a freaking man to do this. I don't know how I did it, but Charles Leclerc got P2 in the worst Ferrari we have seen since probably 2009 or something, maybe even earlier than that, because I'd say that the Ferrari is the 5th fastest car behind Merc, Red Bull, Racing Point and McLaren. He was 2.7 off the winner, so he, like, a few more laps and he could have gotten the win, because he was flying in the end. Like, he overtook Perez and stuff, even though he had a penalty. He was ahead of Sainz, but overtook Norris as well. Like, he was fast, and I'm so happy that Ferrari somehow managed to get a podium, even good points this race, because they were not I don't think they were even expecting this, or not even close to podium. So if they can do something like this next weekend as well, like, Leclerc could seriously stay in the title fight until they get upgrades for the car. So thanks to this, I still have belief that Leclerc could be in the title fight this year and get his first title. But that also brings up a Red Bull, because they were looking so good for this weekend, and I was in a double retirement for them. Albon retired on an engine issue as well. He didn't retire after Hamilton hit him. So 2 engine issues. That's not looking good for them at all, because they're gonna have to waste two of their extra engines this year, which is gonna impact them in the later part of the season. And they would have hoped to get a lot of points, maybe in a win this weekend and in the next Austrian GP next week, or the Syrian GP or whatever it's called. So that's a real shame for them. It's them and it's Red Bull, Haas and Williams. They don't have any points at all for now. But then your winner of the race, the only one that's left, is Valtteri Bottas. What a superb drive for him, or from him, because he and Hamilton had issues basically the whole race with their gearbox sensor or something, so they had to stay off the curbs. They couldn't go on the curbs at all, because then they would probably have to retire after a while, which made them quite a lot slower, but he still managed to pull away because of everyone fighting behind him. But what a good drive from Bottas. Like, he is really going for this title, or I think he's gonna go for the title this year, at least better than last year, I hope. And now Hamilton P4 also spices things up a lot between the Mercs, because even if Hamilton wins next week, if Bottas finishes ahead or P3 or above, then he's gonna be ahead of Hamilton still. And if Leclerc somehow manages to get another podium or something, like he might even lead the championship after next round. Because I'm expecting the Red Bulls to be up there next round as well. What a excellent drive from Bottas, and Leclerc and Norris also did a great job. Like Leclerc, that was not expected all of the Ferrari, and for Norris to secure his first podium ever, it's just amazing for him. Now regularly in the future I'm planning on adding like the standings after this when I do more race reviews, but right now there are no driver standings, so that doesn't really matter. And I could have done the constructor standings, but I wanted to make this as quick as possible because this was just insane to watch and stuff. Like, I can't wait until they release the highlights and stuff. So next week after the Syrian GP, I'm gonna have the championship standings and constructor standings after this as well. So look forward to that, and don't forget to like the video, sub to the channel, sub to my main channel. The link will be in the description. That is all for me, and F1 is back. Like, the races have been, or this race has been so good. And okay, I'm gonna stop talking about this race being so good, but I just can't. Yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, as I said. And that is gonna be all for me today. Peace out, guys.